Hi guys, so today we're going to work on the profitability of a restaurant where T represents the number of months since the restaurant opened. So again, we're dealing with a word problem. I know you love those. T can't be negative, so we already have some restrictions. We know that. How many months before the restaurant shows a profit? So here's the thing. You can either solve for the values algebraically or you can use Desmos, which may be a simpler approach when it comes to finding the values of t, just because you're going to have to use the rational zero test if this can't be factored. In this case, however, it can, but if it can't be factored and it's a higher degree polynomial, meaning anything greater than 2 is the highest exponent, you would have to use what's called the rational zero test, which there is a tutorial on rational zero test. But just to show you algebraically what happens, I'm looking for marker points. And since there are 4 terms here, the GCF between these 2 terms is t to the third. So if I factor that out, I'll be left with t minus 2. And between the next 2 terms, the GCF, well, technically is 1. So if I put a positive 1 and factor it out of the other 2 terms, t divided by 1 is t, and negative 2 divided by 1 is negative 2. Only if the 2 parentheses are the same can this higher degree polynomial be factored. Otherwise, you would have to solve for t using the rational zero test. The 2 GCFs on the outside go into their own parentheses. And remember that this equals to the profitability, which for now we're solving equals 0 because it's factored, and if the other side equals to 0, I can do zero product property, where if I set each parentheses equal to 0, I'll have what's called marker points. So if I set t minus 2 equal to 0, t will equal 0. If I set t to the third power plus 1 equals 0, I subtract 1 on both sides, and t to the third power equals negative 1. So to get rid of a square, you use a square root, which means to get rid of a cube, you use a cube root. A cube root is nothing more than a power of 1 over 3. So if you type into the calculator negative 1 to the, in parentheses, 1 divided by 3 power, t will equal negative 1, which we know we can't use because time can't be negative. So what does this actually mean? This means that if I were to use a number line, so let's say I'm going to say 0 and 2, because I know ahead of time that nothing in regards to time to the left of 2 can be used, I'm going to scratch that out. So this is my marker point, meaning I'm going to test numbers between 0 to 2 and anything greater than 2 just to see where I can have a profit, meaning if I plug in the x, I should get the y value. The y value represents the profit, and a profit should be positive. So I'm looking at where I plug in an x value and I get a positive y value. So that'll tell me how many months before my y value is positive, which shows a profit. So here I'm just going to pick 1. If I plug 1 into the actual function itself, remember if you have the x value and you plug it in, you'll get the y value. Nothing changes with that respect. So 1 to the 4th power minus 2 times 1 to the 3rd plus 1 minus 2. So this will give me 1 minus 2 plus 1 minus 2. So we have negative 2, which we can't use because it's negative. So anything between 0 to 2 months, that does not give me a profit. So now I'm going to test something greater than 2, like let's say 3. So if I replace the x with 3, 3 to the 4th power minus 2 times 3 to the 3rd power plus 3 minus 2. Remember exponents before you multiply. So 3 to the 4th power would give me 81. And 2 times 27, that gives me 54. So now I'm just going to go from left to right. 81 minus 54 plus 3 minus 2. and that'll give me a total of 28. So when t equals to 3, y equals to 28, which means it's positive. So anything after 2 months would be a profit. Not at 2 months, because remember at 2, the profit is 0. So now with all this stated, I would also like to show you on Desmos how you can evaluate it from here. Look, we have Desmos here. If I type in our actual function, which we had before, which is y equals x to the third power minus 2x to the second power plus x minus 2. You'll also see here that everything to the left of 0 we're not using because that's where time is 0 or time is negative. But if you look here, anything before 2, before where time equals to 2 months, the y value or the profit is negative. And if you notice after 2, that's when the y values or the profit becomes positive. So it gives us the same answer, but just with a little less algebra work. Okay, I hope this helps.